This video is dedicated to taking a closer look at the focus settings for fast shutter speeds. What we're looking to do is to track the subject as it's coming towards us or away from us. Now, sometimes it's going perpendicular, but this is a setting that we need to be looking for. You need to be looking for AFC or AI servo. So AFC is autofocus continuous. AI servo is other manufacturers' definition of the same thing. Now on this camera here, you'll see that when I go in and choose, it says AFS, this is in the quick settings, you'll see I've got AFA, AFS, AFC, and MF. Now AFA is the default setting on this camera, and what it's designed to be is single shot, so you focus, recompose, but if the subject moves, it's meant to kick over to AFC. But in my experience, it's very slow to do that, and it's a bit of a disaster. So in any camera I've ever owned, I've never used that. It's simply AFS or AFC. It's one or the other. I know what I need, and of course that helps, but when you start out, you may not know that. So let's have a look again. So we're looking at not AFS, that's single, that's simply where we're taking photographs of an object that is pretty static. And we want AFC, which is AF continuous. So basically what we do is we have to make sure that we have our finger pressed halfway down, and that's what keeps the subject tracked. And then when we take our photographs, we will continue to shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot so that we get those multiple shots taken at the same time. So there is a trick around using that, and it takes a little while because if you're used to just firing and letting go, you've got to keep your finger down. Some cameras do have what's called a back button focus. So somewhere at the back, maybe a button that you press to hold the focus, and that leaves you just having your finger to take the shot itself. Now, it takes a little while to rewire the brain if you've been doing that, but you'll find all the pros basically will do that themselves. The focus points that we're looking for here are basically, we want the subject to be as much in focus as possible. Now, if you've got an option where it's all or only one, I would choose one, okay? Because what you're looking to do is to point that at the subject. Everything's moving so fast. The chances of composition in camera here are very, very slim. So you have that focus point locked on the subject, and you keep your finger pressed halfway down while you track them, and then you take the shot or multiple shots as they're going by. Now, if you've got a newer camera or a mid or high-end camera, you're actually going to have another option available to you, and that is group focus points, which you can move around, but I'm suggesting for the same reasoning again, that you keep those in the middle so that you can then make sure that that focus point never slips and ends up seeing the subject behind. Because in this case here, I've got 9 focus points that are bristling, waiting. Now, older cameras such as this, I only have one or all. And that's all is no good because maybe something else will be locked onto. One is problematic, but useful in that if the subject moves real quick, which can happen, then the focus may end up going to something behind the subject. So all group focus points active would be the ideal if your camera can use them. So that's where we leave it now for this video showing the focus settings for fast shutter speeds. I hope you find it comes in handy.